Good morning. This is Tip Tuesday on Tuesday, and I am Lorraine Brock, professional organizer and owner of Get Organized. And every Tuesday, I bring you guys tips on getting organized, some area of your life, your home, business, or life. And I like the tips to be practical. Sometimes we add a little humor, not always planned, but just sort of the way it works out. And we give you real practical organizing tips. So I am excited today to have Salome with us. She is new to Get Organized and is our personal IT and photo organizer with a company. Glad you're here today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited too.
She is way above me in the IT knowledge, so she may use some terminology I don't even know today, but we're going to try to keep it real simple and practical for you guys. So we want to make sure you understand what we're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
So today we're talking about digital photo clutter.
Yes.
And the actual topic of this was digital clutter, but we're going to focus on the photo aspect of it for today. And so I think there'll be some segments in the future that we'll be able to do some additional digital clutter talks on. I think it's sort of an endless, don't you think?
Yes.
It's
Oh yeah, it keeps going on.
It keeps going. It's just so much clutter out there, versus email, photos, whatever. So anyway, I wanted to talk today a little bit about just sort of the digital clutter of where I'm at. I think I'm pretty darn organized actually, but there is definitely in my photos, I have been working on those for about 4 to 5 years now. And I started, and I want to hear where you're at too, but I started with just taking my photos that were in a shoebox.
Okay.
And I decided one day that I was going to take the photos and I was going to organize them by event.
Okay.
Like birthdays or Christmas. And then I got them all together and they were nice, neat, and organized in a shoebox and they went back up in the closet.
Okay.
That was about it.
Yes.
So then I finally decided, well, I've got 3 sons. They're eventually going to want to look at these photos.
Absolutely.
Photo albums take up,
a good amount of space.
a good amount of space. And I decided that I was going to start scanning them and putting them into folders by year and then by event. And sometimes people say, well, not every photo you take has an event attached to it. It could just be, hey, you look pretty today, right?
Right.
So I came up with a system for that. And as you know, Salome, there's absolutely no way to completely ever be done with photos. But I have a great foundation now to start on. So just know where I'm at. I still got photos laying around. I still have them in frames that are not scanned. I still have them, inherited photos. But it's something I'm working on and getting better at. So sort of tell us where you're at with your photos.
Oh, you really want to hear that?
We got photo clutter.
Yes, I probably am the most dangerous person in terms of my own photos. I keep taking photos everywhere, especially because I have my phone with me and the camera is right there. So I see a flower, a rose. I see something, I just snap pictures, and not just one, multiple ones. Mm-hmm. And so they add up and they add up and they stay there, and they need to get organized. So I basically have to organize my photos on a weekly basis, or it would be nice if I did it on a daily basis, which
I think that's not real life.
No,
it's not real life.
It's not. I've thought about it, but I have never done it. I mean, I'm like, weekly is the best I can do. Monthly, weekly, something practical.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: when you're organizing photos, I'll tell you what I do. When I organize photos, I often do it when I have unexpected time. I'm waiting on someone, or I'm in a doctor's office.
Okay.
And, I use cloud to put mine on. So I can really, as long as I have internet access, I can organize them from any place.
All right.
Now, the ones in my closet in the shoebox,
No, unless you, at some point, digitize them.
Yes. So, but once they're scanned, I can move them around and organize them. And that's a great way. So I do work on that at the most unexpected times when I have a few minutes. So does that sound like a good idea to you?
my brain doesn't function that way. So I usually sit down and line up everything on my screen and look at them on my computer rather than my phone, so I can see the thumbnails and see what they are, and I can get a clearer picture of which ones I want to keep and which ones I don't want to keep. And then the ones I want to keep, I'm usually very stingy throwing away or deleting them. So I keep 2 or 3 copies I may like, so that when I do some editing or look at them, see which one I eventually like to have. I usually keep my original and then keep an edited version, and then eventually drill down to having 1 or 2 copies of each. But it's a process, and I don't usually delete on my phone, but that's my personal option.
Yeah, and you made a good point. You know, the what works for me on my phone when I'm sort of out and about, where for you need to see it on a big monitor and really sit down and not be distracted by other things. So that's another way that you can actually, you know, continue to always get your photos organized. So there's no right or wrong way. It's just what works for you. But that's part of what you do when you go into our clients' homes. Your job is to figure out what's going to work for them and how they can maintain it after you leave.
That is very true. Maintenance is a very, very big factor. I mean, it's a continuous effort. It doesn't have to be daily, but it is some routine that needs to be set up to get used to.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. All right, so I wanted to give this last illustration. We talked about this example before we went live, and I thought it was a good example of physical clutter versus digital clutter. So if you had a collection of 300 physical books, now I just got a few
you got
here.
One,
yeah,
2.
I got 2. So I have books here, 2 books. Just think if you had 300 of these, right? And this being physical clutter books. How easy would this be to pack all these up and move these to another home? You'd have to have boxes, packing material, tape, labeling, and you move them to another place. But then let's talk about if you had 300 books, like on a tablet.
It would weigh a fraction of this.
Weigh a fraction of that. And you could go like this. I'm going to take this from this home to this home.
As long as you have a little pad for it too, it's protected. So,
that's right. That's right. So the moving of physical clutter is way harder than digital clutter if you're looking at the physical movement of it and organization of it. Now, once it gets organized, you know, there's always maintenance like we talked about on the digital side, but the upkeep and the storage becomes an issue with physical clutter a lot more on a daily basis than it does with a digital side. So you'll see that it's just easier to move content that's digital once you get a system. And I think that's really important to think about the 300 books, digital versus physical.
Yeah, and not just moving.
I am sorry we're going out today a lot. I don't know if the internet is just causing us problems, so my apologies. But we will splice this all together and make it into one video, and we'll get it uploaded to YouTube as well. Absolutely. So, but yeah, you're talking about the protection of it, the access to it. I mean, you can't access a book if it's at home, but you could if it's digital.
Exactly.
Like
ebook or
That's
especially if you make it accessible offline.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So, all right, so we've got 5 tips today about digital photo clutter. And Salome is going to take tips 1 through 4, and then I'm going to end on tip number 5. Know that I am not the IT expert that she is. So my tip's going to be a little bit more, probably lower on the spectrum of IT knowledge, but it's something I think you guys need to definitely still consider.
You are so organized.
I try to be. I do live what I preach.
Awesome.
But I'm not a perfectionist. Like, I don't like living with that level of expectation of me. So, all right. So tip number 1, talk about photos that get sent to you like in an email as an attachment. Now, I know that some people get photos sent, you know, in different ways, but let's just talk about attachment emails. Give us a tip how to handle that.
Sure. Actually, for a while, a few years ago, I remember getting pictures back and forth from relatives. Someone had a baby, they would just attach a picture and send it to me, and it would get buried. I mean, they did get buried under every message I
all the way
had.
down.
So,
way
so
down.
I figured a way, and there is an application that you could use to actually retrieve these images and take them out of those buried emails and places. It works great for your iCloud, me.com, Yahoo, Gmail, and we also will have solutions for Mac users and Outlook users, and we're going to add to the notes, if that's okay, at the end of the session. But we're focusing right now on web-based emails such as Gmail, Yahoo, and me.com, where you get all these pictures and you have received them for a while. So you would go to Lost Photos and you will set this up, and it pulls all the images for you off of your email account and puts them into a folder for you, and then you can review and see what's out there. And what's interesting about it is that at times you can actually set it up to say the smaller images I do not want. That might be because people, may have signatures, may have included little images. So there is a little bit of going through the images once they are in the folder. But you could say you don't want small images, knowing that they are probably images included in signatures, or you can just
say all of them.
Everything and then look at it. But this way you don't have to open each email. You don't have to look at each attachment to see what type of attachment it is. It goes and grabs it for you.
That is awesome. And like you mentioned, all the tips that we're going to talk about a little bit after the segment, we're going to post on a comment down below the websites or the name of something that you can actually go and look at this application and get it for yourself. So
absolutely.
That is excellent. Excellent. Okay. So tip number 2, for those of us who have Facebook accounts, we might have photos that we have uploaded to Facebook in the past that we have, failed to save, or we've lost. This is a part of that photo clutter where photos can be everywhere. Tell us what to do about that.
So for that, you could go to the settings of Facebook, and again, we'll put instructions up online for you, but you could go to the setup and you can download your Facebook data, and that includes all the images. It also includes any chat records, any postings. So if you ever want to have a record of everything, in case you want to make your account inactivated, or if you want to delete your account, but you want to have a copy of some things that you had posted in the past, including those records and posts and chats and discussions, this will become a file, like a backup file for you to keep. And then, of course, images are within that file. So when you're organizing, if you had a phone and you lost your phone, like it did happen to me one Christmas, after Christmas. So I only had a couple of pictures I had shared, which I could then retrieve and find again. But I even put a prize. I said, I give this much, these many bills. I mean, if just bring me the memory card. This is from
bring me all the photos you have of me.
This is from 2009 or something. Like, I don't want the phone. I just want the little memory.
The memory out of it.
Yeah. So I lost all my photos except for the couple that I had shared on the social media on Facebook. And when I got my data, they all came to me, and at least I have a couple to hold on to.
Yes. I remember there was a few years ago that my father-in-law had a cell phone, and he actually did not know that my husband had set his photos on the cloud. So he had no clue where his photos, in his mind, the photos were just being saved to the phone. Well, he was leaning over a septic tank. If we all, septic tank. And he was leaning over, and the phone was in his pocket, and it fell into the septic tank, and he panicked. He thought he had lost every photo that he had ever taken. But little did he know, because he wasn't the tech guru, my husband had hooked him up and made sure all of the photos were on cloud. And we're going to talk about that in my tip of how that came about. But just know that that's the benefit of backing up those photos.
Yes, absolutely. So you will have like your important documents. I'm sure. I mean, I've seen people running to burned houses. I mean, I've seen people say that to just grab a few memories, pictures, and those are the things. So imagine if they are on a pad, as you mentioned, or on a little external hard drive in a safe place.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Okay, so tip number 3. What about the photos that you have been tagged in the past?
Okay.
Those of you who do not own, you don't own them. Somebody else has actually tagged you. They own the photo, but they tagged you on your Facebook account. How do you handle getting those? Because you don't got the permission, to just normally get them in a normal way.
That's true. It's true. And unless they had sent you a copy of the picture, or somehow you got a copy, you were together, you don't have it. So then you get tagged in these photos on social media. So you want to have a copy of those. You can go to social media. We also will post that tip.
Yes.
There is a link to a web page where you can go and you can have those images downloaded. Also, you can go to Facebook timeline and look and see what pictures are there and grab them. So that's one of the easiest, best, straightforward ways to go get your tagged images from the past. Through your timeline. Before you make a backup, before you download your data, go through your timeline, grab those, because the data you download, which previous tip, is only your pictures. It's your notes, some things that you have shared, not things you were tagged in.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to clarify on number, just for me, making sure. So if someone else has tagged you in a photo, you have to go and you want a copy of that. You can go back to your timeline and download each of those. You don't automatically get those in tip number 2.
Very true. Exactly.
Okay. So you go do that. Okay.
The first tip is only for what you have posted.
Okay, so yes, it's 2 different ways to get this, what you've posted versus what somebody else has posted of you that you want to keep long term. So excellent.
They complement each other for your collection. If you're doing scrapbooking, if you're just doing genealogy, if you're just keeping record of
yeah. And I know that as a business owner, people have tagged me in different meetings or different, speaking or, events, and I don't own those pictures. I want them. So that's a good idea. Sure. I always they're stuck on Facebook. How do I get them? And also know that, I think we talked about this, that, when you upload a picture to Facebook or probably any social media, you're going to get, doesn't it degrade the quality of the picture? So the highest quality is always going to be the first original format of the picture. So it's not going to be as high as quality.
Yes.
But at least you'll
have something. Yes.
Okay. So tip number 4. This one I want you to really explain, but let's say you want to set up something that will automatically, going forward, save or put someplace all the photos that you have been tagged in. So tell us about this.
Okay, so this is just taking an action for future photos where you possibly someone tags you and you want to eliminate, you don't want to go back and look at your timeline and get these, you want to be proactive and say, okay, anytime someone on Facebook, for example, tags me in a photo, send me a copy of that photo to me. And you determine and you say, where do you want that photo to go? You want it to go in a folder on your computer, you want it to go to your OneDrive, Dropbox, it is your choice to say where you want it to go. And it is called if this, then that.
If this, then that.
So if this happens,
that was
meaning
tongue twister.
Yeah. So if this, then that, meaning if this happens, if it happens that you tagged me in a photo you took and I don't have a copy of it and I have no clue what you're doing, and then I'm sitting there at my computer and I all of a sudden see a file added to my folder, then
that
this
rule
is going to happen. The
rule
happens. Somebody tagged me and then it kicked the file, the picture, to come to the folder where I wanted it to be, which is awesome because it's not I'm chasing or I am going to follow and see what's out there. It's proactively getting notified when you're tagged and you get a copy of it too.
And you can pick any location That's a normal standard platform, like you said, probably Dropbox, Google Drive, iCloud,
Box. I mean, any of the, and it could even be a folder on your computer.
Even a folder on your computer. And it was automatic. Now, the negative to that, where of course there's a positive because you don't have to go get that, but a negative to that is that you've got to keep that folder organized. You got to do something with it if you so choose.
Yes.
Versus just letting it get full. But you don't have to manually go out there and look at your timelines and pull that information. And some of you may not, a lot of people that if you've uploaded the picture to Facebook, you probably own it, but if someone tagged you, there's a high chance that you don't, that you have to. So that is an excellent tip. And you talked about earlier with me before we went live, you talked about the automation in people's homes. So just for a little bit more clarity of what this does, the if this, then that, talk about that scenario with the automation that people are doing with their lights and toasters and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is actually every rule, every logic of if this happens, then do that. The logic, every logic formula is called a recipe. So it's a recipe for Facebook pictures, recipe for dimming the light at 6 p.m. at my entry or my hallway, or turn this on at a certain time. So there are a lot of recipes already, and we will post the link to if this, then that. But there is a lot of recipes already created that are proven to work really nicely. And you can just go and choose them and say how you want those to impact your life. Automated or a certain routine, maybe sprinkler system, and some people may use that, or make your devices a little smarter, your home a little smarter.
That's excellent. That's excellent. I was talking to you also, like, if you get in, and I'm just taking this back to email because I'm applying it to how I consume and think. But like, if I received an email from Kohl's, then this is what my rule or recipe needs to happen. I may want to put it in a special folder or a special place, and maybe I want those emails to be deleted in 30 days. I mean, you set up your recipe or rule. It's called rules with email, but recipes with this particular scenario, and it helps you save those photos. So that is excellent.
It is actually amazing. It's amazing, especially I know with emails. I had gotten very tired of getting a lot of emails, so I totally set the alert and everything to go off, like be off quiet mode. Yes. So I wouldn't see anything or be alerted unless I just go in there and take a look actively. Right. So I'm now using the same, a recipe, so that if I get certain emails, I get notified. Not all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to go off 24/7 like 100 times a day. So I get that. Okay, so my tip number 5, and they're not techie like yours. So not even a website or resource. And again, we're going to put all the websites and resources that Salome just mentioned. We'll put them in the comments down below so you guys can go check them out. All right, so my tip number 5 is, if you have cloud technology, let's forget exactly whatever cloud technology you have. Just if you have cloud technology where you have the option of putting your photos on there. Now, some cloud technologies, you don't have a lot of space. So it's not the free accounts that this is going to work with, because you don't have enough free storage. You'd have to actually be paying for some kind of cloud storage to do this. But you can have your phone, when you take pictures, you can have your phone automatically set to when you take a photo, that photo, when you get connected to Wi-Fi or on your data plan, you get to decide, will automatically upload to a folder, one folder normally called a camera roll or a gallery. It will automatically upload that photo into the cloud. Now, that gives you a secure copy of it. It's still on your phone, but if your phone got lost, you would still have that photo because it's on the cloud, right?
Yes, secure in that sense.
Yes. So the negative to that is that all your photos get constantly uploaded to this one folder. In my case, with my phone, it's called Camera Roll. And it can get thousands and thousands of photos in it if you're not really on top of it. So another option, and I'm not saying it is the best option, but this is another option, is the setting on your phone, you can set for it to not automatically upload to the cloud. And then let's say, this past weekend was Mother's Day.
Yes.
Let's say that you're just playing around with your phone right before you go to bed on Mother's Day, where you could actually select all the Mother's Day pictures from that day and then move them to the cloud in the folder that you wanted to label and make that just the Mother's Day folder. Now, that means right away it's organized, right?
That is true.
It's organized right away, but you've got to be faithful in doing that. Like I would say, you say you do yours about once a week. I mean,
yes.
There's a risk factor in doing it this latter way with if you lose your phone before you move them.
Exactly. So if you pick Thursdays and you lose your phone on a Tuesday or Wednesday,
Tip Tuesday would not be a good day if you lost your phone and it's not backed up. That'd be, devastating Tip Tuesday. So yeah, you're right. And let me go back to my father-in-law's situation where he lost his phone. Had he had lost his phone and not moved those pictures, they would have been gone forever.
Yes.
But thankfully, they were being uploaded to that camera roll folder. Mm-hmm. But granted, if I go open his folder even today, I bet you I would find thousands and thousands of photos completely unorganized, but they're there. So anyway, just think about how you want to move your photos. If you want to do it manually and organize it when you move it, or wait and just upload them all in every time you take a picture and move them at some point in your lifetime.
Yeah, which, if it's okay if I add it. In my case, I have added in the setting, I've said that every time I take a picture, as long as you're not using my cellular data, I'm on Wi-Fi, then transfer these to my Dropbox. I'm not worried about the ownership of the photos. I'm not a professional photographer. I just want to make sure I have a backup copy. So Dropbox is something because I have a paid subscription. I have a ton of space there. So a copy just automatically goes there. So anything that happens to my phone or pad, whatever I'm using to take the pictures, automatically goes there. And there is a setting also you can say if you could keep the original format, or you could reduce the resolution or make it higher. So there are some adjustments, and depending on your device and phone, you can.
And if you reduce the quality from what your phone took to the cloud, then obviously it uses less storage, but your pictures are not as high quality. So you can actually determine that on your phone setting, right?
Yes, absolutely. In like you have an iPhone with iOS 11 or higher, then there are certain features that, and if you send some pictures taken by that particular phone to someone else whose device is not compatible, they won't be able to open it. So you might want to take those into consideration, but JPEG is always the safest way. And if you have space, I usually tend to say, keep the resolution, the quality as it is. And then when you do your purging and review and delete, and the one you keep, eventually you won't have as many, but what you keep will have its original size and resolution and quality.
And sometimes I do keep a couple photos of the same shot. Like for example, everyone looks gorgeous in that one picture, but someone's eyes closed. And so over here in the other picture that's really very similar, I'm like, I can take the eyeball and I can
replace
the eyeball and edit it. And so you'll never know that eyeball came from a totally different picture at the same time it was taken. So that's the reason why you'd want to take two pictures sometimes, you know. All right, so awesome. Well, those were our 5 tips on organizing your digital clutter with an emphasis on photo organization for this Tip Tuesday. So I want to talk about, we gave away, last week me and my husband were on Tip Tuesday last week. He's a clown. He did go feed the goat after we left, I think.
Okay.
Long story. You'll have to watch Tip Tuesday from last week. But we gave away this book, which was upside down. Doesn't work if it's upside down for you guys. It says, Date Your Spouse from Your House, 52 Budget-Friendly Ways to Get Away While Staying In.
Wow.
So we talked about, organizing time for your marriage and little tips on how you can sort of have more time together. And so this is actually the winner of this is going to be Lane McInich. Lane, I'm going to message you and get your address, and we're going to send this to you. You're the winner. So
congratulations.
Use it or share it, right, girl? So anyway, this is coming out to you, and wanted to let you know that. So I love giving things away. All right, so this week's giveaway, I showed you. What do you think about this week's giveaway?
Awesome, especially with summer months coming in, and if you're spending time in your car.
Oh, I did too. I thought the same thing. So I was recently in Arkansas, Eureka Springs, with my husband, like on last Tip Tuesday, and we were going around in all the little shops, and I always look for unique. I tell you guys, I'm always looking for unique, very practical things that help me. Definitely staying organized, but sometimes it's a combination of just being neat and clean, right? Yes. So this is actually, it's going to show backwards in the camera, but it's called a car coaster. It's a little bitty ceramic. Is it a bee? Yeah, it's a bee. And because it's cute. So what you do is you take this ceramic coaster and you drop it down in your drink holder in your car. And as your drink sweats, and like you said, the summer months, it's going to happen. This will absorb it so it doesn't leave liquids puddled in your drink holder, and it actually doesn't leave rings and stuff. So I love to keep my car clean and neat. And in fact, right now it needs to be vacuumed, and it's really just bothering me. I'm starting to have issues. I got to go take it. So anyway, this is actually really practical, and I got it in Eureka Springs last weekend. So we're going to mail this out. And how do you win this? Well, we left you 5 tips. Okay. You left 4.
Yes.
I left you guys 1 on Tip Tuesday.
Okay.
When you listen to it, put the comments down below of which tip that you liked, and what you're going to do with it, or any kind of comment dealing with which tip you liked, and any tips that you can give us about how you liked that application or software. That will get you entered into this, and then next week on Tip Tuesday, we'll tell you who won and mail it out to you. So, and I'm sure if you want more of these, you can get more. Great little gifts, though. Maybe they for Dad for Father's Day. They may actually have some sports ones. Maybe. Good thinking.
Yes.
Good thinking from the kids.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about our Tip Tuesday tool of the week. So I have a tool. I'm going to give this to you, Salome. Let you hold that for a second. And this is our Tip Tuesday tool of the week. So every Tuesday, I do a tip on a tool. So lower it down just a second. Let's see what's in here.
All right.
Okay. And get these. Okay, you can set that down over there. Right. So this is a product, and I don't really know how to pronounce it. Maybe you know how to pronounce. These are Swedish words.
Sonersta
and
guessing.
Fintorp. There you go, Fintorp.
I guess.
Those are all Swedish names, and I bet you are going to be able to say it backwards and forward fast because you can read those. So these are 2 products from IKEA that we have used in different parts of the client's home. And there's just, this is not really a pretty rod. It's just a rod. They have different rods there at IKEA. And then they have different types of containers. These can come in ceramic. They can come in metal pails. These are just the white plastic. But we use this a lot at our clients' homes for various things. And what they have a little thing on the back here that you would just put over here.
Aha.
You're doing
you
great.
Know where
great.
I'm going after here.
Yes, you're a great
Container
fan.
Store.
Well, did I say container store?
I think.
If I did, it's IKEA. Sorry.
Oh, IKEA. Oh, then I did not mean.
I don't know. I know I said Swedish, but that doesn't mean anything.
You know what? That's my fault. I had been thinking about a container store, and that's
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So they're at IKEA, and they're little buckets that people can put staples, pencils, pens, Sharpie markers, kids' toys, paint brushes, chalks. So it can go in a kid's playroom. It can go over a mom's desk or an office or a mud room. And again, this rod, it comes in different colors. In fact, they come in white. They come in wrought iron. And the 2 names that she mentioned, I'm not even going to try to pronounce those. There's different styles. So
was it
Sonersta
and Fintorp.
There you go.
Maybe we could put them in the
Yeah, we'll put it in the comments down below. But they're in the kitchen department at IKEA.
Okay.
So anyway,
That's cool.
You can set that right down in the box over there. So
right.
it is a really good product that you can probably use in multiple places in your home and get organized with it. So, and they're low cost in the kitchen section at IKEA. All right. So next tip Tuesday, we're going to be talking about money for clutter or donate for free.
Uh-huh.
You know, that reminds me of my childhood days. I think it was a place or a song, Money for Nothing or something.
Yeah.
I
think it.
I don't know what that even, that's all. It may totally be an inappropriate song. I don't even remember it, to be honest with you. I just remember that. So money for clutter or donate for free. So Lorraine, what is all that about? It is about the effort given to sell something versus the price gained. And we're going to talk about ways to sell your clutter and make money. We're going to talk about ways to dispose of it, not necessarily like trashing it or putting it in a landfill, but getting rid of the furniture or getting rid of a collection. What are the options from estate sales to garage sales to different various other options? And so we're going to be talking about that because I know everybody, they have a problem sometimes. They want to get rid of things, but they want money for it.
Yes.
I mean,
it takes time.
It takes time. It takes effort.
Yeah.
And what you think it's valued for is often not what it's valued for. Especially with our senior and baby boomer population, they're going through that downsizing phase. So we're going to give you some great resources and talk to you a little bit like we talk to our clients that help them make the best decision for their time and the money that they potentially would get back. So that will be on next Tip Tuesday. And then I want to highlight just lastly before we go is obviously I want to highlight our IT services. Woo, woo, woo.
Here to help you.
Yeah, we're absolutely here to help you. You have our first client that you're going to be servicing next week.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And I don't need to know a name, but tell me what you're going to be doing for her.
To help her organize her digital photos. So to gather photos from everywhere, scattered on CDs, flash drives, on a camera, across platforms, on a Mac, on a PC, various phones, iPhone, Samsung. And then we are going to organize those and create a system that she can maintain to stay organized moving forward.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And I know we focused on photos today because it was sort of what we were talking about. But remember, for you guys, you know, Salome can handle email or music or documents.
Yes. Recipes.
Receipts. You need a system to, if you're self-employed and you need a system for email or receipts or expenses. I mean, it's amazing. Syncing devices or getting information off of hard drives and putting them, or setting up on the cloud.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
We can do it. We can do it.
She's your
girl.
We'll help you.
We'll help you. I won't help you.
We're a team.
I may schedule it. Maybe a little bit. Got people for that too. But anyway, so, well, I'm very excited. Don't forget, I already put it down, I think, but yeah, don't worry about it. That's okay. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. If you want to be entered, we have this little bitty coaster that's going to be, it goes into your car and it absorbs the moisture from your drink. We already put it down there, so it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. So but it's going to be, it's like a car thing, and it's a cool car thing. And if you want it, then leave a comment down below of which tip that you like today, the 5 tips that we gave about IT digital organization for your photos, and you will be entered in next week's drawing. Well, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me today.
I learned a lot today, and again, just watch in the next hour, and we will have some links and applications down below.
Yes.
And be able to help you guys get your world of photos a little bit better organized. So thank you. I'm Lorraine Brock with Get Organized. Thanks for joining us on Tip Tuesday. See you next week.